Hi folks, I hope you are having a great week. I am just flipping our apartment meeting because I know it is a crazy busy time of year and an even crazier week. So I'm going to go ahead and give all of the information here in the screencast, and I will be in my room every day at lunch from here on out if there's anything that you want to touch base on or discuss. So do not worry about a meeting tomorrow. I will be in my room if after the screencast you have some questions or thoughts or anything that you want to put out there for our next meeting or our next PD or anything like that. So the updates from Curriculum Committee are as follows. The set days that were originally set for March 12th and March 13th have been canceled, and Scott has sent out a couple of different emails regarding that, but in light of our internet issues that are happening right now, just please make sure that your subs have been canceled if you were going to go to the set days that were initially scheduled for this week. Also, Scott is waiting on final confirmation from Dr. Porter to confirm the end of the year exams, or the NWEA, to be happening during the week of the CASP. I will also confirm with him that the juniors do not have to take the NWEA end of the year assessment because they will be taking the CASP. So watch for a follow-up email from me to be out later on this week. Pilot updates. We are moving forward with Common Lit, and because we are moving forward with Common Lit, we need to look at what units and what anchor texts we're going to need print copies of, and the advice is that we use what's left in our Pearson account to attain some of the novels that we're looking at for Common Lit. So the next time perhaps that you are in your PLC groups, if you could take a look at the Common Lit units and start to look at what we would like to order from Pearson, we can get that in place before this year and our contract with Pearson ends. Also, just as a heads up, I just heard word that Nate in Reprographics is retiring at the end of this year, and I'm not sure if they're rehiring for that position or not, so I will meet with Carissa and talk with Scott about what our options are now for printing out PDFs. I know that for Avid, the printing is returning back to the site, but I hope that that's not the case for English, because if we're printing out PDFs of copies, that's going to be a lot of wear and tear on our copy machines. But I will ask more questions and find out what they think the options might be for that. The other item that came out of our last curriculum committee meeting is that Dr. Kaufman came to talk to us about our ELD program. In our district, ELD 1 gets elective credit. They are seeing in some neighboring districts, ELD 1 is getting English credit, and our district is curious about how other districts are doing it in an effort to try to create more equity for our second language learner population. They have not come to a decision with regard to classes and how to go about doing that, but they wanted to let us know that it was a discussion point and something that they'll be examining this year. So that is just FYI, nothing to be overly concerned with, in the sense that they are looking at doing a lot of observation of other districts and asking questions of other districts this year before they start to put any kind of other plans in place. But they do want to make sure that they are providing equity and opportunity for our second language learners. Out of leadership, the primary topic, we spent a lot of time talking about attendance and MTSS for that. The question that we were asked to pose is, what can teachers do in their classroom as Tier 1 support for attendance? Things such as calling parents, sending emails home, and so on. As a leadership body, we also talked about the additional pieces attached to that. We talked about whether or not we could have some more consistent consequences for chronic tardies and absences. We asked about the potentiality of resuming an in-school suspension model, and No clear resolutions were made other than for us to really look at what Tier 1 supports for attendance we are engaging in our classroom. And of course, they are open to the conversation with regard to what other things might potentially be put in place as Tier 2 and or Tier 3 supports. We also spoke a bit about enrollment this coming year. We have a smaller freshman class coming in, which would suggest fewer fifths for next year. Sanji will be attending a staffing meeting where he'll get a better sense of what that will look like for next year and the master schedule. As far as master schedule requests are concerned, Parissa will be sending out that questionnaire that she normally sends, or that the APIO normally sends, with regard to requests for classes and conference period and so on. That will be coming out at the end of March. They also spoke about the NWEA data PLC 2 weeks ago, and they reported that it was really well received and a really nice aha moment for several content area groups. And a good discussion was started on how to move forward using that data. Also, a friendly reminder that if you are the gen ed teacher that is asked to attend an IEP for a student, please do what you can to make sure that you attend. It is a legality. We do need to be there, and the team will definitely do everything they can to make sure that once we've given our information, that we hopefully will be dismissed. And last but not least, our mid-year visit for WASC is coming up next year, and as you know, Mark is our WASC self-study coordinator this year, and so as we move into PD and so on, we will be starting to look at some of the goals for improvement that were recommended, and we'll be looking at assessing our progress on those. As far as department stuff or other additional pieces for us, we also touched on the idea of the school-wide literacy piece, with Sanji underscoring that we do need to start with something, and the best recommendation is that we start with something simple and to be consistent with our practice. Heads up that Coyote 401 will be happening in April 2nd to be exact, and it will be going through the math classes. And the CASP schedule is coming up. Thank you for your input on the Bell schedule. And it looks like as we move into preparation for that, Parissa asked that we make sure that we are doing the IABs. You would have received an email from California Assessment and TOMS to update your password and sign your affidavit digitally for administering the test. This will give you access to the IABs, and if you are a junior teacher, it will give you access to proctor the test when the time comes. And other than that, the reminder was just to ask the junior teachers to make sure that if you are not already having the kids work with the IABs, to please do so. And sophomore teachers were also encouraged to have the students practice with an IAB or two, just to start to familiarize themselves again with that platform. And if you need any help with that, shoot me a text, give me a call, and we'll set up some time. Again, there are no set days this week due to it has to do with the Common Lit contract not having gone to board yet, so it was kind of a moot point, but those have been canceled. So if you were set up for one of those 2 days, hopefully you saw the emails from Scott and canceled your subs. The last thing that I would just ask is the next time that you are in your PLC groups, maybe take a moment or so to take a look at the core works and units from the Common Lit that we'll be adopting, and let's see what core texts or anchor texts we can order from Pearson so that we have some print copies of those texts sooner rather than later. And that's, in a nutshell, the stuff that we need to know heading into the last part of March. If you have not been checking email, the summer school applications came out, and this year Mr. K is in charge of it. So if you are interested in teaching a session or two, please make sure that you complete the application. And of course, our student teachers are also welcome to apply for a session or two of summer school as well. And if anybody would like me to forward the application to them, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. That is pretty much everything for this month. Again, in respect for your time, I don't think we need to formally meet this month unless you've got something that you need from me. I will be in my room all this week during lunch, 6th, and after school, so feel free to swing by if needed for anything. But hopefully you are having a great day, and I will talk to you sooner or later, whichever comes first. Thank you.